And welcome to the Cardinals Nest. This is the show where we interview student athletes and coaches at St. Mary's University. I'm Dean Beckman, the faculty athletics representative for the Cardinals. My co-host is Sports Information Director Donny Nadeau. Donny, today we have on Delaney Wolf, a team captain from the St. Mary's women's hockey team, along with head coach Sarah Murray. And even though we're not in hockey season, Donny, there is a very special reason we have both Delaney and Sarah on today.
Yeah, it's awesome to have Delaney on, and I know how much she loves to talk about herself, but she's got to do it one more time. Delaney was named the winner of the 2021 Hockey Humanitarian Award, which is a phenomenal honor, very well deserved. But we definitely wanted to have her on and Coach Murray on just to kind of talk about that award and what it means to her, what it means to St. Mary's, and greatly appreciate you guys being on. And I promise, Delaney, after today, I won't ask you about it anymore until school's out.
Okay, good deal.
Well, Delaney, I think, one of the reasons it is such a big deal, of course, is that this is for all of college hockey, not women's Division III. We're talking men's and women's, all divisions of college hockey. And not only were you a finalist and, of course, award recipient this year, but you were a finalist last year as well. Now that all of the festivities are over, the announcement is over, and you've had a chance to kind of take it all in, have you kind of thought about the magnitude of this particular award, the Hockey Humanitarian Award?
Yeah, so it is kind of a big deal, I guess. It's been kind of crazy. And I know in most years we'd go to the Frozen Four and there'd be a whole thing. And so kind of sad we didn't get to go to a live game, but I'm really honored to be able to accept it, even though it was at school. It was kind of cool to be able to do it at home a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, can you talk a little bit about what Delaney brings to St. Mary's in terms of her volunteer work and everything she does aside from being a captain on your team?
Yeah, I know in all the interviews, I list all of her numerous activities that she's doing, between being a full-time student athlete, team captain, in the school band. She's the president and leader of multiple groups on campus. But yeah, she kind of sets the tone of community outreach on our team. She volunteers 30 plus hours a month. I don't know, again, something that I've said multiple times, I don't know how she gets it all done. We kind of have concluded that she doesn't sleep, or she's in a different time zone or something. But yeah, she's a great role model and a great example of what student athletes can do and can be. And I think she's really set the tone. I know a lot of girls now, that say someone on a St. Mary's hockey team has won this award. Now other people on our team also want to win the award. And so we have a lot of people that are striving to follow the example that Delaney has left.
Delaney, is that something you think about as far as being a role model for the other student athletes on not only the women's hockey team really, but throughout all of St. Mary's athletics, based on your accomplishments, being a double major, the 30 plus hours of volunteerism that you do each week, plus being a team captain? Do you think about being a role model and kind of the example that you're setting?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like how I lead. I'm more of a lead through example than a lead through talking kind of person. So like I have a big belief is if you want to do something, you might as well do it all the way, because otherwise there's no point. So just putting myself into everything 100%. And I think if everybody does that, then you're going to be really successful at whatever you're trying to do as a team or just individually in whatever you're doing.
Delaney, I got to sit down with you and talk a little bit about kind of your journey, and you said some really neat things, and I'm hoping you could just kind of repeat them. And that is, you come from Bismarck, North Dakota. How in the world did you ever end up in Winona, Minnesota?
So I found out about Winona, Minnesota and St. Mary's my senior year, about halfway through over Christmas break. And Greg Moore, the hockey coach, then approached me at a tournament in the cities, and there was like a 1 in a million chance that he would see me play and want to talk to me. And that's how I discovered that St. Mary's existed. So I'm really grateful that I'm here. I found out we have a great science program in connection with Mayo, and that's why I kind of decided to be here, as I could play a sport and get a great education. And so I really feel like I'm kind of meant to be here, because it was such a slim chance that I even got to the opportunity to come. So I'm really grateful that I was found and got to come here.
I know your hockey career is kind of winding down or wound down. I know you do have the option of coming back next year to play, but what is next for you? I know that, hockey may be done, but you're far from over when it comes to schooling.
Yeah, so I'm taking a year to do some research, and if I'm in the area and my position allows, I might take that 5th year. So I'm not sure if I'm done yet or not. But then after that, I'm looking at med school and possibly an MD, PhD. Fingers crossed I get into a program with that. So lots of school left.
Sarah, be sure to save a roster spot just in case.
Oh, definitely. We've already talked about it. Like, we're like, when you get into this program, you can have your stall back next year.
So, Sarah, one of the things Delaney talked about is, she's a biochemistry and Spanish double major. And, one of the reasons she came to St. Mary's was because of the recruitment from former coach Greg Moore. So, Sarah, do you think about sort of your influence that you have on prospective students when you're out looking at hockey? It's sometimes just the chance of seeing someone play at a tournament or at a high school game or an event of some kind. And just that reaching out can sometimes make the difference on a student even learning about a school.
Oh, definitely. Like, and Delaney, you were playing on a team based out of Minnesota, correct?
It was actually my high school team traveled to the cities for a tournament. So we were playing Minnesota teams. It was pretty much a Minnesota tournament. But
I thought for some reason it was my understanding that you were playing on a team that was based out of Minnesota. So I was like, all of the chances of all of the things happening, I thought that, yeah, you were on a Minnesota team, but it's exactly what you're saying. It's the right place, right time. There's so many good players out there. There's so many teams, just let alone in Minnesota, that you happen to come across a good player. And you just talk to them and it connects and they learn about the school. And I was just talking to Donnie about this the other day. And like, I feel like the school, once you start talking about it and people have a chance to visit the campus, it sells itself. Like, it's a beautiful campus, like small class sizes, really good science program. We have like our facilities on campus, all the ice that you could ever want. So I think it's just that chance encounter, making that connection with that athlete. And then once we get them on campus, I think they're pretty much sold.
Don't forget about the best SID in Division III. Don't forget, that's important. That's an important sell, Sarah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure. Let's Delaney, talk a little bit. I know I disagree with Coach Murray because I know you sleep. I just know it. There's no way you don't sleep.
I think there's a twin. That's what I think, but that's my theory.
How do you juggle it all? How do you make it all work? How do you volunteer for 30 hours a month? And how do you play in the band and how do you play hockey and then still be a 3.9? As I learned, you're not a 4.0, you're a 3.9. But how do you do it all? How do you make it all work?
I'm very organized. I have my Google Calendar and my planner, and I have all my stuff listed out. And to cope with my stress, I make lists and cross things off. So it's very satisfying. But I do sleep usually on the bus on road trips and at night. But I don't know, just like relying on other people to help me make sure I'm on top of everything. And I do double book myself sometimes. And then I just hope that people have the grace to accept that, oops, I messed up type of thing, like you guys did when I did that yesterday.
Hey, Delaney, what did you think about the big watch party that St. Mary's and the athletic department put on for you, where they invited the university community to come out and watch the announcement being made on NHL Network?
You guys
get
are
that,
frozen.
Delaney?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Do you need me to re-ask?
Yeah, the watch party?
Yeah, yep.
Nope, I'm good. So the watch party was really cool. It was a crazy setup in the gym. They did a really great job and made it very special. So I was really grateful to be able to celebrate that with my team and the men's team. And then the trainers and everyone who showed up. It was very, very special.
And Donnie, I got to admit, I was a little naive. I had no idea that was all going to be done through the NHL network. I thought it was maybe something we were going to do and put together, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think it really does talk about the magnitude of the award. It was presented with the Hobie Baker Award and the Mike Richter Award, which are the two biggest Division I college hockey awards you can have. So for Delaney to be in that group of award winners, again, it just shows you the magnitude of that award. And I have to admit, I watched the national championship game, and Delaney's name was on ESPN during the national championship game. So way to represent, Delaney.
Sarah, if you could talk about the nomination process. Were you the one that nominated Delaney both years, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you get an email from the Hockey Humanitarian Committee, and they kind of ask you if you have any athletes that you would nominate for the award, and you have to get, I think it's 2 or 3 recommendations from professors or other people that know you, and then you have to do like a paper write-up of like all of her accomplishments, what sets her apart, what makes her special, all of her service that she's done. So it's quite the process. And then, as Delaney can explain more, she has to go through an interview process where they ask questions about the application and kind of see if she fits the mold of someone who should receive the Hockey Humanitarian Award. And she's a seasoned vet because she had to do it last year, and she was a finalist last year too. So she was a little bit more prepared for it this year. But yeah, it's not necessarily an easy process. It's not just, submitting someone's name and then they pick a name. Like, it's a whole thing.
So Delaney, what is that interview process like?
So last year before COVID hit, we actually would meet in person. And so when we were up at St. Ben's on that road trip, I met with 2 of the board people for the foundation. Pretty much we talk about what I do, why I do it, what got me started, what is motivating it, kind of everything about like the big why. Like, why are you doing this and what makes it special, and why would you want other people to kind of believe in it? So it was kind of like a personal interview. So you kind of get like your side, but then you also kind of learn about the foundation and what started that. And so that I thought was very interesting, as they kind of gave me the foundation side of the award.
And then Delaney, maybe talk about your decision to donate the proceeds from the award, $3,000 approximately, to the Winona Warming Center, which is run by Catholic Charities here in town.
Yeah, so the warming center is something I started working with sophomore year. And so I've gotten to know a lot of the guests that are regulars, and just hearing their stories has been very interesting, because most of them are nothing like anything I could imagine life being. Like, they've had so many experiences that I can't even relate to, but it's crazy to hear about them. And so just knowing that those people are out there and they're struggling, and there's a big stigma around homelessness. But a lot of the times you're not homeless because you want to be. It's usually because something happened and you're struggling. And so a little bit of help, like somewhere warm to sleep and cold winter nights, makes the biggest difference, because it's that much little bit of safety for someone who's having a hard time. So that I wanted to help support, especially since we couldn't do any in-person volunteering there this year. So it's been kind of distant. And so this was kind of my way to reach out and lend a hand where I could.
Delaney, can you talk a little bit? Let's talk a little bit hockey this year. Obviously, a very strange year. How did you guys as a team? How did you adjust to COVID and really a shortened senior season?
I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It was a hard season to play in, but I'm just grateful we got to play in it. Throughout the whole thing, we were working on adjusting and trying to be ready for every twist and turn, with games getting scheduled and canceled left and right, and pretty much just trying to enjoy the time we had together at the rink, and to be as competitive as we could on the ice every single day, just because we're out there because we love the sport and we love each other, and there's no reason that we can let COVID affect that unless we have to. So just making the best of the situation, and I'm really grateful we got to be on the ice this year, even though it was shorter and a little bit unexpected.
And Coach, you got to experience a little bit about what maybe Coach Borowski and Coach Winnicky have to do every spring with reschedules and cancellations and making sure the bus is going at the right time. Talk a little bit about from your standpoint, because it really is something that hockey coaches don't have to deal with in this rescheduling and, COVID outs rather than rain outs. But talk a little bit about this season in terms of coaching.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't envy those two at all. I had just a taste of it this year and I did not like it. But yeah, it was very much what Delaney was saying, just learning to be flexible, getting a call on Friday at 1:30 for the game that's supposed to be at 2 tomorrow that gets canceled. And then you're trying to scramble. And as you know, I was in your office quite often about scheduling different things and checking to see if we can get refs, but it was pretty chaotic. But like Delaney said, we were just fortunate to play. We were just happy to be able to play. There were so many other schools and other teams that weren't able to do that. And I know it was really hard when we told the team that there wasn't going to be any postseason awards and no MIAC champion this year. But then the team said, well, there's an unofficial champion. There's still rankings. So let's be the unofficial champion at the end of the season. So even though all these things were being thrown at our team, they could have shut down and been really angry about. People were trying to spin it and flip it and trying to turn like a tough situation into something positive.
Delaney, what was it like playing with no fans in the stands, or at least very minimal?
It was kind of sad. Like, it's nice to see people up there and they're cheering you on, but we still had a couple people out supporting. Like, I think Brother Frank was at a couple, Matt Sager was at them, so we had people there. I think the hardest night was senior night and us not getting to have our parents there, because Carol, Ari, and I would really love to have their support, but obviously it's a tough time, so I had to deal with it. But our team did a really good job of making it special still. So hard,
Sarah, one person who was there, at least in cardboard cutout fashion, was your super fan, Matt Klosky. And I saw that a couple of your student athletes had a chance to give Matt Klosky some skating lessons recently. Did you see that on social media?
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. That might be one of my favorite videos that we put up there. But yeah, no, he is definitely a sports super fan for the university. So I know the players all put money together to get a flat mat. So getting him like a fat head cutout so we could travel with him, and he had his own seat on the bus and everything. So yeah, no, we definitely appreciate him for sure.
Delaney, as you potentially move out and stop, playing hockey, advice for the rest of the team. What would your, as the outgoing captain, what would your message be to those returning next year?
I would just say, like, stay close to each other, like bond with each other. Like, you're not going to get a better family than the girls you spend 4 hours a day at the rink with. If you can rely on each other, you're going to have a great experience. And it's not something that's going to go away. I know SMU alums who still talk to me every couple of months or something. And so we get in touch still. It's a whole family that's worth being a part of.
All right. Anything else, Donnie, or should we wrap it up?
I think Delaney's tired of talking about herself. I think we can let her off the hook here.
All right, Delaney Wolf, the winner of this year's 2021 Hockey Humanitarian Award, and head coach Sarah Murray joining us today. So thanks to both of you for taking time out to join us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, that's going to do it for Cardinals Nest. Thanks for watching.